Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamer's Genie. Today, we're going to learn how to play the seasonal set collecting game, Creature Comforts. This 1 to 5 player game designed by Roberta Taylor and published by Kids Table Board Games. As you are a creature living in your nice peaceful town of Maple Valley, the summer breeze is blowing through the trees, the sun is shining in the sky, and the little ones are playing by the creek. But, unfortunately, just like everything, that does not last forever. As the winter winds come blowing in and the seasons change from summer to autumn. Build up your comforts by collecting resources and building comforts and getting extras as well. Will you be able to collect enough comforts and necessities to survive through the harsh winter, or will you end up in the bitter cold with only a mild discomfort? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play Creature Comforts. Place the game board on the table. Set the river dial in its place at a random rotation so that the dividing lines of the dial line up with the dividing lines on the surrounding plank gaps. Place the hilltop tile on its spot. Create the valley card stacks face down. Each stack should have spring first, on the bottom, then summer on top of them, and fall on top of summer. Within each season, the card order should be random. When the stacks are ready, flip the whole stack over so that only the current card is showing. Set the stacks in their appropriate places on the board, like so. Create supplies of all 6 goods: wood and stone, grains and mushrooms, yarn and fruits, and supply piles of coins and stories as well. And I left them all in these little containers for easy access. This does not come with the game. I got these off of Board Game Geek. And as well as lessons learned are not goods. You may want to separate the supply piles of goods and non-goods as a reminder, as I have already done. So these 2 are non-goods, and all these in the middle are goods. Create a shuffled face-down deck of comfort cards. And I'm going to shuffle them and start my Genie magic now. Like so. Deal 4 comfort cards face up into slots. Like so, of the owl's nest. Create a shuffled face-down stack of improvement cards and just place the deck right there, off camera. And this one for shuffling, I'll just kind of divvy it up. I don't want to kind of keep doing that trick over and over and over again. It might. Deal 1 improvement face up in each ladder slot. There, there, and there. The 4 improvement tokens nearby, so that would be this and this, and I place them right here. Shuffle the Traveler deck face down. And place it in the inn. Choose a player to start as the early bird. This is what we call the starting player. It will rotate each month. Give the early bird the worm token. We'll start with me for this demonstration. And the 4 village dice. Check the chart on the opposite page of your rule book to see if anyone starts with the bonus coin, and I'll let you discover that for yourself. Choose your family and take the home board. So for this one, I'm gonna play as this, and we'll give Jordan this one. And then you give them 4 workers that go with their colors and 4 cottages to go with their colors. Finally, 2 family dice that match their color. Like so. You place your 4 cottages on your family home board. And I'll show you. Right here on the heart spaces, like so. Draw 3 comfort cards from the deck and choose 2 to keep in your hand. And discard the 3rd. So I'll discard this fairy garden into a shared discard pile near the deck. Depending on the number of players and the length of your game, some players may not get a chance to be the early bird as often. There is a chart in your rule book, and give the numbered players each a coin from the supply. I will try to put that into the video, but you can also check it in your rule book yourself, so not to worry. And that completes the setup. You're now ready to begin. Each month plays out in these steps, played in order. So first step is the new Traveler step. You flip the top Traveler card and place it face up in the inn. This is the Traveler that's visiting Maple Valley this month. Each Traveler has a special power that will either affect all of the players for the month or one that will happen when the card says. So this one has all month long. For all 4 valley locations provide an apple in addition to what they show. Place an apple from the supply in each location as a reminder until the month ends. Each Traveler also shows a variety of benefits that players can access by sending a worker to visit later in the round. And that's right here on the side of the card. Read the Traveler's power to the group. If the Traveler's power says immediately, then you should immediately follow the instructions on the card. It does not, and it happens the whole month. All players roll their own family dice and place them in the family dice slots on their board. That would be right here. And if my cottages weren't slipping around, so you just place them there, and that's that. Do not disturb their values. These are now set for the month. Then all players do placement at the same time. You place a worker to any location you wish. Only one of your own workers may be in each location. Okay, so I can't put a worker here and then put another worker here. That is just not, it's not done that way. But I can put a worker here I can put one up here. I can put one go here and put one here. But workers from multiple players may share locations on the board. It doesn't matter who places when. You are free to change your mind and move your workers around as you wish until you are satisfied. Each location describes the dice criteria that are required for resolution. As you are placing, understand that on your turn you will need to assign dice to your worker in order to resolve them. At this point, you have only your family dice as a hint about what dice will be available to you. The village dice, which all players share, has not been rolled yet. In most locations, turn order does not matter. All players will be able to get the benefits whether or not someone went there earlier. However, in the Owl's Nest workshop, it is possible that a player going earlier in turn order this month might claim a comfort or improvement that you want. Keep this in mind if you are later in the turn order. Once all players have finished placing their workers, the early bird rolls 4 village dice and places them without altering their values on the hilltop. All players should be careful not to disturb or alter these dice as their values are now set for the month. Starting with the early bird and proceeding clockwise, each player takes their turn. On your turn, you can 1. Place 2 family dice without altering them on the hilltop with the village dice. These 6 dice are now the pool of dice available for you to assign. Or 2, you can assign dice. 2, you then assign dice from the hilltop location where you have workers to satisfy their location requirements. Place aside dice in the locations. The assigned dice and locations may be any combination of family and village dice. You may also assign family dice to glades if any have been built, and you are free to move the dice around until you are satisfied that you've gotten the best possible result. So I can put 4 equals 8, and then I could put 6 right there, put 3, and then that's a whole different thing, so I would still have one more left over. It is wise to wait to resolve all of your workers until you're happy with how your dice are placed. This will keep you from changing your mind late and having to backtrack measly. If you have any, you may spend lesson learned tokens to modify dice values. Each token you spend acts as a +1 or -1 side, showing as appropriate. Do not adjust the die itself. Just treat it as if the modified number was there. You may apply multiple lessons learned tokens to a single die if you wish. You may not make a die higher than a 6 or lower than a 1. You may not make a 6 into a 1 or vice versa. So, for example, I would get an apple from this traveler, but I put this, that makes this a 4, so then I can get this story instead, as you can see. 4 would be the story, it was a 3, so I would have gotten an apple. So I would have gotten some coins, but now I get the story. After you've finished arranging and resolving each location or glade where you assign dice, one at a time in any order you like, as you resolve, take your worker. So I resolve this, I put this back, and I will take the bread and remove my worker. And family dice assigned there back to your home. It is possible you will be unable to resolve one or more workers because of how the dice turned out. You also may choose to not resolve any workers you wish. Once you are finished resolving your workers, unfortunately I can't finish that one, that you were willing and able to bring any unresolved workers home and take one lesson learned from the supply for each one you didn't resolve. Notice that since this step is after the resolution step, you may not spend a lesson learned token you gained in this step to modify this month's die. Now you can craft comforts. You can craft any number of comforts from your hand. Each comfort crafting cost shows the resources that you must spend. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wheat, and we need 1, 2, 3. We need a rock and 2 coins. Oh, you're supposed to refill this. Each comfort's crafting cost shows the resources you must spend. Return those resources to the supply and place the comfort card face up near your home. So let's say 3, 4, 5. Let's say I did have 5 wheat. I'd return the resources there and I'd play the bread. You place it face up near your home. Some comforts work well with others. Try to craft things that can work together. So the bread works well if you have soup. So if the soup ever shows up, you should try to craft it. Some comforts have a type symbol right there. Right there. In the top right corner. Certain improvements prefer those types. Some comforts indicate that they will score bonus victory points at the end of the game for particular resources stored there. You may freely move resources between your home and these cards during the game, however you like. Resources aren't committed to a card until final scoring. So I'm gonna just, actually right here. The hearth, as you can see, it gets bonus points for every wood that's stored on it. Finally, take your family dice back to your home if they are not already there and carefully return all village dice back to the hilltop without altering their values for the next player to use. Discard any spent lessons learned tokens from the board back to the supply. If you have more than 3 comfort cards in your hand at the end of your turn, you must discard comforts into the comfort discard pile, which is off camera down here, until you have only 3. Little note, it is okay to have more than 3 comfort cards in your hand during your turn, just not once your turn is finished. So we can resolve the dice. So lesson learned. Then pass to the next player clockwise. If you are the last player for the month, proceed to the upkeep, which for this video's sake, yes, the last player just took their turn. So some travelers have a power that activates at the end of the month. Like this traveler right here. He has an end of the month ability. In turn order, each player may gain a story from the supply if they give a gift of any item to another player. If that's true for the current traveler, you carry it out. So if that moose was there, we would have carried it out, but we have this black bear. Discard the top forest and meadow cards on the valley stacks from the game, revealing new ones for the upcoming month and progressing further through the seasons. We'll just kind of move them off camera. If there are no new ones to reveal, you will see the first snowfall of winter has arrived and the game is over. Proceed to scoring immediately and skip the rest of the upkeep. Otherwise, proceed with the following steps. You rotate the dial clockwise, discard the leftmost comfort from the owl's nest, slide the other 3 down, and deal a new comfort from the deck. I shuffled these pretty badly. To the empty rightmost space. Discard the improvement from the bottom. Slide all of them down. And refill with a new improvement from the deck into the empty slot. You discard the traveler from the inn. We'll kind of put a little discard pile over here, and then we replace it with a new traveler when it starts up again. But this is a how to play video, so we kind of have to do things a little more quicker. And the early bird then passes the worm to the next player. The early bird takes the village dice and they roll. Place them back on the hilltop, and then we start all over again with step 1. So when the game ends, first all players freely craft any comforts from their hand, if they have the resources to do so, of course. Let's just say we have the resources. So, rock, 2 coins, done. Turn those in, and the rock. We got 3 rocks, 2 wood. Then all players tally up their scores to see who built the most comfortable home for the long winter ahead. You remove all your tokens, and you use the scoreboard on the bottom half of your player boards to keep track and tally all your points. Use tokens from the game as score markers. I like to use my player token, my little worker, to kind of keep track. That's just me though. If you had any cottages remaining on your home board, replace them on the topmost cottage slots on the home board back. If you exceeded 50 points by lapping around the board, you just take any token and place it on the 50 mark, the 50 plus mark, and then continue to score. Just to remind yourself that you've already lapped the track. Points are earned in a variety of ways. Each comfort card shows a heart value. Many of them also describe some sort of bonus scoring. Some comforts allow you to store resource cards on the card. Resources on the card for bonus scoring. You can move resources around between your comforts and your home to make sure you have the best score now. But each resource may only be used to score 1 card. Resources stored on comforts are not considered. So, for example, let's say Jordan had crafted 2 hearts, and she had 3, but then only 1 on the other one. She can't add up the 3 and then move over the other 3 to make 4 so that way she can get a better score. Nope. She scores the 3, but since it does score by 2, the better way would be to have 2 and 2. But once that's set, that's set. She can't alter that in any way. Each improvement shows a heart value in the same location as all the comforts. So if I had this, I'd score 2 points. Some of them also describe some sort of scoring bonus. So the barrel sauna, you can gain 2 for every outdoor winter comfort showed by other players. That's one of the ones, for example. Or the herb garden, you get 1 for every food comfort owned by other players, as you can see down there. There we go, down there. Score the revealed heart values in empty cottage slots of your home board. Score is still covered by cottages are not earned. So I get 4, so I get 7 points for the cottages because I have 7 points. Of course I would have scored like much more, and then I also have 7 points for that, plus 2 more points. Any leftover stories are equal to heart points, leftover coins, and any 3 and are 1, and any 3 leftover goods are equal 1 as well. So I do have a story, so I get to go up 1, but I do have 3, so that's also equal to 1 too. And the player with the highest score has built the coziest, most well-stocked winter home and wins the game. But in the event of a tie, all tied players win, and it's even better win than winning alone. That's all you need to know to play Creature Comforts. If you have any questions about this game, please put them in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like this. And if you're a big fan of the channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, which unlocks all sorts of goodies as you go through the tiers. But one of the most important ones is it gives you early access to how to play videos just like this one. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below so you can check it out. I'd like to thank our current Patreon supporters. Your donations mean a lot to this channel and it helps us do what we do. So thank you. Be on the lookout for our gameplay video on Creature Comforts. But until then, thanks for the views.